Hello, I'm Dee and welcome to More to Come. And boy, is that true today. More to come right here because ever since I posted the last video and the bucket list challenge and asked you all to share some of your bucket list items with me, I've just been so encouraged, but also inspired. It's kind of helped me build my bucket list out a little bit more. And so I'm going to share a lot of those comments with you. Lots of good ideas, lots of really wonderful comments. So thank you for getting involved and sharing. And if you want to see more of that kind of thing, then just comment, because I'm going to try to have a special section each time on these videos where I share your comments, because you've got great ideas. And those ideas can spread and we can help each other, encourage each other along as we look at our lives in this season of life and think about how can we make this the best season yet. So we're going to do that in a little bit, but also I want to ask you a question to get started today. And is it just me, or does time just seem to fly? I remember back when I was a teenager or in my 20s, a day, a week, a month just would seem to drag along. Is Christmas ever going to get here? Am I ever going to graduate from high school? And that just kind of continued on until probably, I'd say maybe when I turned 60, I really started to notice it. Like time was just accelerating. And a year would go by and I think, where did that year go? I don't even know. And so this last, I'd say 6 months since I turned 70, I've thought this is even more true for me. And I've started asking people and they've said, yeah, it is. It's just like crazy how fast time goes by. So you know me, I'm kind of a geek. I want to know, okay, what's going on in the brain? Why are we feeling this? What's happening? So stay with me because I am going to geek out just a little bit on that. I won't bore you with a ton of details, but there's a reason that happens, especially at our age. And so I want to share that with you. But I also want to make sure that you downloaded in my previous episodes, I have this bucket list reflection guide going. And so it had some ideas for you in terms of creating your fun bucket list. And I hope you used that, and I hope you had a little bit of success, maybe concentrating, thinking, reflecting on what it means to really actually write out a bucket list and start to cross items off. But today you'll have in the description, you'll have a couple of other things. I'll try to figure out how to make you see this. This is going to be blurry, but this is really something that I'm going to talk about now. And it's a grid for 100 years of life. And I'm going to tell you about that. You can download that and you can fill this out along with the reflection guide number 2. Time is flying, now what? So those are free resources for you. Again, you'll get the link in the description of this video, and I hope you'll take advantage of that. Let me know if it's worth it or not. It is a little bit of work to put those together, so if it isn't anything that helps, then I don't want to bore you with it. But I do think for me, when I sit down and I just say, okay, I'm going to think about a bucket list, sometimes it's kind of hard to do that and not really have a great idea of what is actually the thought process that I need to go through to make that happen. And especially because I'll get distracted and interrupted like I am right now with a phone call. Can you hear that in the background? I need to figure out how I can turn that off. I'm not quite sure how to do that. So we'll just let it ring and a message will get taken. But this is one of those things that I'm learning. Like, how do I do that? I guess I do know how to turn the ringer off of my phone, and I just forgot to do that today. Anyway, so this that I want to share with you is called a 100-year grid. And I first discovered it. I really want to get it up here so you can see it. Remember the Bible verse from last time? Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. That's Psalm 90:12. Well, when I was teaching life skills to high school students, I was thinking about this personally because I realized how fast time had gone by in my own life when these students sitting in front of me at 15, 16, 17 years old, it seemed like yesterday that I was 15, 16, or 17 years old. And so I thought a lot about it. And then as I was trying to teach them how to really appreciate their time, to be present, and also to really embrace the age that they're in right now, because it only comes along once. You're only in high school once. So I had them fill out this grid. Now what it is it is 100 years. So 100 boxes split up in years. So year 1 has 52 boxes, year 2 has 52 boxes, all the way down to 100. So if we live to be 100, we'd have all of these boxes. but we don't know how long we'll live. We don't know how many years we have. But if you take this and you color in all the boxes you've already lived, and then if you're like me, because most of you are, we're going to get way down here and we're going to see, oh my goodness, if I live to 85, Lord willing, here's how many weeks I have left. And look how many weeks I've already lived and how fast they went by. And so I felt like, not only for high school students, but for us, it's a tool that we can use to help us number our days and to realize that time is precious, not to be wasted, to be embraced and enjoyed. And if we've been given the gift of years, how much more that we should take a hard look at this and say, okay, what's on my bucket list? The fun list, we've worked on that the last couple of weeks if you were with me on my last video. But there are other lists that we probably want to create that have to do with our relationships, have to do with our learning, have to do with our growth spiritually, emotionally, all of those things that we think we'd be grown up by now, but we're not. At least I'm not. I don't think most of us are. I hope I'm. If you're all grown up, you just fill in the comment there and say, I'm grown up, Dee. And if you are, then tell me how you did it. Because I'm still finding that there are so many ways in which I need to grow and I want to grow. And so that's one of the reasons I'm doing this YouTube channel, because I want to keep growing, learning, challenging myself, and I want to keep engaging with people that I think will inspire me. And boy, was I right. You all have inspired me so much. So I'm going to get to those comments in just 1 minute, but I want to tell you that also in this reflection guide that I have the pages for you today, time is flying, now what? And I say here in my introduction, one of the biggest surprises about growing older is just how quickly time seems to pass. And we've already talked about that, but I'm going to ask you some questions here that might help you just sit on that for a little bit and start to work on some of the practical aspects of having a bucket list or goals. We could call them goals too. I kind of like bucket lists, but we can call them goals. Some of the practical things that we can do to actually make those bucket list items reality. So don't go away, because I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. But I really do want to share your comments and tell you how they've inspired me. Again, thank you for doing that, because here we go. I had some really fun ones, but I have to start with this one because this one hit me like, oh my goodness, this is my sister. This is somebody who really knows me. It's Shelby. And she says, I started a bucket list a while ago because I kept going over all these things I wanted to do and then realized I needed to get organized first. Oh my goodness, that is so true. So she says, I guess the first one on my bucket list, get organized. And then she said this. She said, there are about 20 other things for me to do on her bucket list. She said, but one of them I really want to do is learn how to play the violin. And so, Shelby, I just want you to keep us posted. I hope you will learn to play the violin. I took violin lessons for just a short time. I think I've mentioned that I play the piano, and I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But I really thought I wanted to learn to play the violin too. And so I had borrowed a violin. I put it up here, and I started doing this. And I have to say, the sound that close to your ear and the resonance that that creates in the instrument, it is something to behold. I mean, I'm not much of a role model here because I didn't learn how to play the violin, but I did appreciate that it would be an incredible instrument to learn. So Shelby, I'm going to be thinking about you, and as I look at this, I'm going to pray for you that you can actually do it. But I'm going to tell you some practical tips to do it here in just a minute. Okay, then Rebecca, I loved this one. Rebecca has 3 sisters, and they were all born in Wisconsin, but they've ended up here in Idaho, so they're one of my Idaho neighbors. And they have decided as a group that they are going to visit 50 states together. And so next fall, she says, this is Rebecca, we are planning a 9-day trip to see the fall colors in New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. And that will cross off 4 states for us. So good job, Rebecca. That is good. And did you notice, because this is key to what I'm going to talk about in a minute, they've got a deadline. They've got a trip planned in the fall. I'm going to talk about deadlines in just a little bit. All right, Pauline, she said, I've had a bucket list through the years, and some of the things happened, and some I realized I really didn't want to do. You know, that's something that happens is you realize sometimes, oh, I really don't want to do that. that takes too much time, or it's too hard, or whatever. And so then you'll put your energy into the ones you really, really do want to do. But she did say that right now her main thing is to get a cat. She's an animal lover, so she's another kindred spirit. And she said that this is a fun thing, but also a therapeutic thing. And you know, there's people that don't like cats. I don't understand that. I love cats. I've had cats over my life. And so I'm with you, Pauline. I think a cat will be a wonderful therapeutic thing. I want to hear all about it. Send me a picture. Tell me the name of your cat. I just love to know. And then another thing she's going to do is go to a national quilt show. So good for you, Pauline. Like your bucket list. Now here's another one. And this one, maybe some of the rest of us can take some inspiration from this. I don't know this person's name, but here's what they said. Over the last 10 years, I've accomplished several things on my bucket list. But the one thing that frightened me the most was publicly sharing my faith. Fear kept me silent for years. But last week, by God's grace, I started a YouTube channel. Good. And I'm discovering it's never too late to say yes to what God has been asking you to do. You are so inspiring to me. I thank you so much for sharing that. And I just wish you all the best. If you're going to be on the learning curve I'm on, then it's going to take some stamina to do it and make it happen. So please keep me updated. Send me the link to your YouTube channel, because I'd like to watch. And that would be really fun to see your growth in that, because, you know, the truth is, those of us doing YouTube channels, we are growing, learning, and probably receiving way more than we can ever give. But I'm with you, and I'm so happy for you that you've decided to step out and share your faith. There's nothing better than doing that. And then I'm just going to share this other one, because I truly found inspiration in this one too. This is from Lynette, and she has 9 grandchildren. I only have 4, and I have a hard time keeping up with them. So Lynette, good on you for keeping up with these 9 grandkids and doing what you told me you do. You have done fine arts and crafts with them over the year and loved the joy of creating and the look of pride and joy on their faces and their parents' faces when they would win ribbons because they'd entered their art in the fair. So those things that we do as grandparents, so important. And if you are a grandparent and you don't have anything on your bucket list regarding that, then let's make that a goal, because grandparents, I think we are needed more than ever. And now's the time. We can't waste a minute, really, because those years we have with our grandchildren are so special, and they fly by. They really, really do. So Lynette, thank you for sharing that. You said you're going to revisit your list because you've got to get that wheel turning and do more things. And may I throw out there, if you haven't done a grandma or a grandpa camp yet, that's pretty fun. I'll be sure to do a video on that. I've done grandma camp over the years, and I have a friend who's like the queen of grandma camps. So I'm going to interview her so that you guys can learn from her, because she's amazing. She puts everything I've ever done to shame, but I keep trying because my grandkids love it. They think it's so cool, and sometimes I wonder why, because, you know, it's just kind of everyday things that I put together to do. But I think it's because it's that one-on-one. It's that real dedicated time just for them when I can give them attention. So anyway, those are some of the comments, and there were many, many more. So I thank you all for sharing your comments. Please keep them coming, because I'm going to enjoy being really rewarded for doing this by being connected to you. If you haven't discovered the community tab yet on this YouTube channel, see if you can find that and join the community, because I'll be able to send out special things once I figure out how to do it and keep that community going. But I'll be reading every comment. I'll try to comment on your comments as much as I possibly can. So let's go now to the practical tips that I have concerning your bucket list. And please don't go away yet, because this is some good stuff. I was in broadcasting for 40 some years. And it was a good thing, because I don't know if I would have ever held any other job as long as I held that one. And for one reason, it had a daily deadline. Sometimes it felt deadly, but I had a daily deadline in broadcasting. The news was on at 5 o'clock, and I had to have my stories and my ducks in a row and be ready to go. And that clock did not wait for me. So I had to learn a discipline to get things done and get things done in a timely fashion and not procrastinate. So I struggled because I'm a procrastinator, and it took me a while to figure out the systems, to figure out the mindset and everything that it took to have a daily deadline that was no fooling. I mean, it was an actual, I would be incredibly embarrassed and probably fired if I didn't meet my deadline. But now I'm retired somewhat, and there's not a deadly deadline. The only deadly deadline, or the only daily deadline I have, is my alpacas, who, if I don't feed them, they really let me know about it. So, they're on a schedule, and I have to stay on a schedule with them. And then, of course, the things that I just have to do. But I don't have those same kinds of deadlines in my head that I did before. And it's hard, especially trying to do a YouTube channel now, trying to build in a system and have a deadline that nobody else is imposing on me. I am imposing it on myself. And so with your bucket list, you've got to do the same thing. I've got to do the same thing. We've got to impose a deadline on ourselves if we want our bucket list to ever come true. You've probably heard that quote. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Dreams without deadlines are just wishes. I think that's how it goes. It's true. I mean, deadlines are a very useful tool. Most of us don't love them when they're imposed on us, and then somehow that transfers over to maybe not liking the idea of imposing them on ourselves. But I'm really getting busy on that. I'm struggling, but I'm going to really get that tackled, because I know if I'm going to keep this YouTube channel going, if I'm going to make my bucket list items happen, then I really need those deadlines. So the deadline itself creates urgency. So that's part of the whole reason that they're so helpful. But they also are shown by researchers to dramatically increase follow-through. And that's the important thing, isn't it? I mean, that follow-through. We learn that in sports. Now, I didn't, because I'm not a sports gal. But when I've gone to, my grandkids' basketball practices, for example, I know there's something about the follow-through when you're trying to get a basket. I know there's something about the follow-through when you're trying to throw a football. I know that follow-through is important in so many things, and it's important with your bucket list. It's important because it really will help you follow through. There's also another thing, that deadlines reduce decision fatigue. Now, this one, every day we postpone something, we must decide all over again, okay, when am I going to get that done? How am I going to get that done? What's going to happen? Would it be tomorrow? Should I start today? If I can't finish it today, well, what am I going to do? So our brains are just busy using a lot of energy trying to figure out, well, how am I going to make this happen? So deadlines will reduce that decision fatigue, because you've got a deadline, you need to do it, helps you winnow out the things that maybe aren't as important so that you can get that deadline met. They create momentum. That's the other thing about deadlines. You got it. You're going. You've got this energy. You're going to go. You've got to hit it here. So there's momentum there. They also make your goals more concrete. If you attach a deadline, like the sisters in the comments, like they have a plan for this fall, that's their deadline. They've got the momentum. They've also got a concrete goal, because they had to buy plane tickets, or they had to get the rental cars set up in the Northeast, whatever. So those deadlines will make things concrete as you start working on answering questions like, how much is this going to cost? How do we reserve places to go? All of that, your dream then becomes a project once it has a deadline. And the good news is those of us that are older, we actually benefit more from deadlines than any other age group. Research on successful aging finds that people who continue setting meaningful goals with deadlines have greater life satisfaction, stronger sense of purpose, higher optimism, and just overall a better psychological well-being. So I found that encouraging and loved all of that. So as we take a look at our bucket lists, I'm going to encourage you to set some deadlines. Maybe not on every single item, but at least on a couple of items, so that you have some kind of a concrete project in the works. Now for me, your comments, thinking about my own bucket list, I've got one, and I'm going to give it a deadline. So I've told you I play the piano, and I've been a pianist since 5th grade, and I'm pretty decent on the piano. But I want to learn boogie woogie piano. And if you don't know what boogie woogie is, then look up boogie woogie and watch some YouTube videos, and you'll say, oh yeah, I get it. I see why she wants to play boogie woogie. It's fun, it's energetic, people love it. If you have friends over, you could, a lot of times they'll say, oh, play something for us, Dee. And I'm like, oh, everything I play is kind of, dreamy or whatever. But if I could play boogie woogie, there'd be a smile on everybody's face, because it's such a fun form of music. But it is hard, especially if you didn't learn young, because your left hand and your right hand working really independently, and you have to work those sides of your brain that feel like pain when you're first learning. But I'm going to commit to you, I'm going to ask you to hold me accountable. In 6 months, I want to play for you. I want to sit down at my piano and play some boogie woogie. And maybe along the way I'll play little bits and pieces just to prove that I'm actually working on it, and to encourage you to please do the same. If you're working on something, well, show us or tell us or let us know, so that we can be on this journey together figuring those things out. So that's my plan. 6 months from today, I'm going to put it on my calendar. That's my goal. It probably won't be, anything I'd ever ask people to pay money to watch, but maybe I can play you 30 seconds or so and just show you that I've really done it. I know it'll be good for my brain. I know it'll be good for my spirit, because it's fun, happy music. And it'll really help me actually cross that item off my bucket list. All right. Now, I want to put all of this in perspective, because I'm old, and I know that no matter what plans I make, what dreams I have, life happens, things happen. And sometimes that can be really discouraging. But it doesn't have to be discouraging if you put all of this in a biblical context. I'm always going to share something with you from the Bible, because this old collection of ancient books with ancient truths that have been borne out over centuries and centuries really has golden nuggets for all of us. And I hope and pray that you are a follower of Jesus, and if you're not, that you'll explore that you'll at least reach out to whatever you think. Like, you watch a beautiful sunset and you think, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. When you see that and you don't know God, say, God, if you created that sunset, I would love to know you. I would love to understand what some of my friends who do believe in you are talking about. And I really honestly know that if you ask that question in honesty, God shows up. And so if you do know him, share that with other people, because just like our friend, I think it was Shelby, right? Shelby, yes. Shelby, who's gotten the courage to share her faith. We all need to do that too. We don't have to should on people. We don't have to wag our finger, thump a Bible, but we can share what we have come to know is true about the God who loves us, who died for us on the cross, will save us from our sins, and will prepare and is preparing a place for us in heaven someday. So as you know that there is a God and there is sovereignty, and in the Bible it says that kind of an interesting verse in James that I'm going to read to you, then it kind of puts things in perspective when things go wrong. So on your reflection page, which I didn't print up in color, but it will be in color if you download it, here's the verse I put down for you to think about. I said it's number 4 on this little page. Number 4, a thought to explore. As followers of Christ, we aren't condemned by James, who happened to be Jesus' brother, by the way. Really interesting backstory there that I'll tell you someday, if you don't know it already. We aren't condemned by James for making plans. No, plans are good. Book of Proverbs is full of proverbs about how smart it is to make a plan. But rather, we're condemned for making goals. Maybe condemned is too hard a word. But rather for setting goals and planning that leaves God out. Praying about your bucket list and asking God for his direction can make a dramatic difference in your journey. Oh, that is so true. So true. So here's the verse in James. It's in the chapter 4 of James, verse 13 through 15. Come now, You who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and get a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. Neither do I. We don't know. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for just a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. Like my grandpa used to say, we should say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Because that's really the truth. And especially if we take our bucket list items, the things that we really want to do, the things that are meaningful to us, and we have our hands open to God and we humbly say, Lord, these are my plans. Please help me, show me, give me the wisdom that I need so that I can carry out these plans as you would have me do. Or put up a roadblock, and those happen sometimes, or help me be patient because it might take a while. All of those things are so helpful as we dream boldly, plan intentionally, set those deadlines, but hold our plans with open hands before the God who loves us. All right, I want to thank you so much for being with me today. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I feel like I did, but if I did, I'll make it up in the next video. I hope you'll be along. Please like, share, subscribe, and give me some of those comments so that I can keep this section of my YouTube videos going. I like sharing your comments. I like getting to know you. Thanks again. More to come soon.